What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and today we have another viewer request deck. Today we have the deck called the Big Pig. It's going to be a bracket 2 deck, but what's interesting for you is that it is technically a bracket 2, but we are playing some Stax. So this is Stax, but without like the bracket 4 Stax pieces. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we have Yasharn, Implacable Earth. It's big old pig. It's a 4/4 for 2 generic, and then Selesnya. When Yasharn enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest card and a plains card. Reveal those cards and put them on or into your hand, then shuffle your library. Players can't gain life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. So, as you can see here, just a nice little 4/4, and it has this little stacky ability here of the players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities, which is pretty nice. So let's go straight into our creatures, and like I said, we're gonna have some stacks in here today. Stacks, tax, preventing our opponents from doing a lot while we get to do some things. So first off, we've got Archivist of Ogma. One of my friends has argued that this is a Stax piece. I, as a Stax enjoyer, don't argue that this is a Stax piece so much as we're going to say a tax piece. And yes, I think there is a difference. So he has Flash, and whenever an opponent searches their library, you gain a life and draw a card. So I don't play a lot of tutors in the decks that I play, and so I like Archivist of Ogma in a ton of my decks because it kind of levels the playing field a little bit for me. So if my opponents have Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Worldly Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, Mystical Tutor, I get to gain some life and draw a card. Also, if you're a budget player and can't run fetch lands, but you are in a pod that does run a lot of fetch lands, playing Archivist of Ogma is a great way to kind of, again, level that playing field. Whereas they get to search up what land they want, you might get to draw into a few. We have Archon of Emeria, which is flying, and each player can't cast more than one spell each turn, and non-basic lands your opponents enter the battlefield tapped. So this deck is more budgety, right? And this is another one of those cards that I added in because we're going to be trying to punch above our weight class a little bit, right? Although the deck is a bracket 2, I think that you could play this at bracket 3, and probably should, because bracket 2 people might get very upset with it being stacks. But we need to punch above our weight class if we're going to compete at bracket 3, or if you want to try bracket 4. So at those brackets, there's a lot more non-basic lands, and this card helps you slow your opponents down. Then we have Archon of Valor's Reach. It's a 5/6 for 6, it has Flying, Vigilance, Trample, and as it enters the battlefield, choose Artifact, Enchantment, Instant, Sorcery, or Planeswalker. Players can't cast spells of the chosen type. Yeah, it's a little overcosted, but has a very strong ability. You can shut off some of your opponent's things. Aven Mind Sensor. If an opponent would search a library, so this is very important. It says if an opponent would search a library. So say somebody tries to Opposition Agent. You can use this to protect someone else if they're getting Opposition agented. So if an opponent would search a library, that player searches the top 4 cards of the library instead. Also, I would recommend playing this in higher bracket decks for if you believe you are going to be Opposition Agent when you search, so that way they can't really screw you over. Boromir, I added him in here for protection, and he also has his little Staxy piece. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Eat It, Force of Will, Impact Mitigation, and Fierce Guardianship. And you can sacrifice him to give your creatures indestructible and have the ring tempt you. We have Clarion Conquer. Activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. 3/3 for 3. Collector Oof. Everybody hates this card. It just says activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. Containment Priest. Flash, if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it, so no cheating things in for free for people. We have Doorkeeper Throw. Flash, flying, artifacts and creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. There are a lot of creatures where this happens. Shut them down. Elish Norn, Grand Cenobit. I use this card a lot like a Wrath. Plus, you have a lot of little dorks in here, little Stax dorks. Giving them the +2/+2 is a good thing. Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. We all know that she makes a Panharmonicon for you, and then also shuts off your opponent's ETBs. Esper Sentinel, classic commander card. Lets you tax to draw some cards. Gaddock Teeg, this card used to see a lot of play. Saw some in Modern, saw some in Legacy, and he's a great little card. Maybe we'll get to see Gaddock Teeg again when we get to Lorwyn. That's where he's originally from. Non-creature spells with converted mana cost of 4 or greater can't be cast, and non-creature spells with X in their mana cost can't be cast. Grand Abolisher, during your turn, or your opponents can't cast spells or activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Hushwing Griff, flying, flash, creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Kataki War Rage, all artifacts have at the beginning of your upkeep. Sacrifice this artifact unless you pay one. So this is, I should do a video on Stax versus Tax. I like both types of cards, but there's probably a debate whether this would count as a Stax piece or a Tax piece. Kutzel. This card sees even CDH play. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Whenever one or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Linvala, the OG of activated abilities of creatures your opponents can control can't be activated. Manglehorn, when it enters the battlefield, destroy an artifact. Artifacts your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Scoot Swarm, because I love the old Scoot Swarm, and we are going to have ways to get some lands onto the battlefield, I promise you. Shalai, planeswalkers you control and other creatures have hexproof. Oh, great. I'm going to be doing a video with hiccups. This is fantastic. Sigarda, other permanents you control have hexproof. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast angel and human spells from the top of your library. Solitude, it's just a Swords to Plowshares, but creature. Soulless Jailer. Permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield, so no Reanimator nonsense. And players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. Spirit of the Labyrinth. Each player can't draw more than one card each turn. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Non-creature spells cost 1 more. And Thalia, Heretic Cathar. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. So, yeah, as you can see, the vast majority of this is to slow down what our opponent does while we execute our tiny person game plan. Alright. Sorceries now, we have 6. We have Austere Command and Farewell. They're here for our removal. Savine's Reclamation, to return permanents from our graveyard to the battlefield, which most of our stuff is 3 or less. Kodama's Reach and Cultivate for a little bit of ramp. And Morningtide's Light from the upcoming Lorwyn Eclipse. Again, I am very excited for this set, and also this art is awesome. Exile any number of target creatures at the beginning of the next end step. Return those creatures' cards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control until your next turn. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. Exile this card. It's like it's Fairy's Protection. All right, so then we have our instants. So we do have some cards in here to flicker our commander because we want some lands, right? So we have Cloud Shift for that, Ephemerate for that, Eerie Interlude, Ghost Way, Flicker of Fate. We have some protection and overrun with Akroma's Will. We have Calamity's Wake, which is exile all graveyards. Players can't cast non-creature spells this turn, exile it. We have some ramp with Entish Restoration and Harrow. We have Heroic Intervention for protection, Generous Gift for removal, Path for removal, Sword, Stroke of Midnight. All of these are your basic standard mono white removal. And then we have Veil of Summer. Draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and from black until end of turn. Artifacts, we have 8. We have Conjurer's Closet, lets us blink. our pig. Curse Totem, activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. Damping Sphere, this is the anti-storm card, and I love this card a lot. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it only produces a generic mana instead of, a colorless mana instead of any other type or amount. So, like, say somebody has Tron out and they tap their tower for 3, it actually just produces 1 instead. Each spell a player casts costs 1 more for each other spell they cast this turn. Lifecrafter's Bestiary. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay green. If you do, draw a card. Null Rod. Players cannot play any artifact abilities requiring an artifact. You can't activate artifacts abilities. The Great Henge is in here. Thorn of Amethyst. Non-creature spells cost 1 more. And Vexing Bauble. Counter things if they no mana spent to play it. Then, for our enchantments, we got Authority of the Councils. People's stuff enters tapped. You gain life off of it. Deafening Silence. Each player can't cast more than 1 non-creature spell each turn. Felidar Retreat. Landfall. You get some beasties, or you put 1/1 counters on your stuff. Ghostly Prison. Players can't attack you unless they pay 2. Mirari's Wake. Rest in Peace for the Graveyard Hate. And Stony Silence, which is activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. For lands, we're running 35. We are only running 3 non-basics in the deck. Emeria the Sky Ruin, Command Tower, Yavimaya, and then we are running 16 plains and 16 forests. Like I said, it's Stax, and though technically bracket 2, could probably hang at bracket 3. Probably not going to be the thing that is most popular at the table. But I hope that you enjoyed this deck. If you want to see one of your decks get made, or an idea, or just a theme, or even just based off Commander, let me know, either in the comments or by filling out the Google form. But as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.